Okay, Dr. Ron Cutler, Director of Biomedical Science Degree Programmes, Queen Mary, University of London.
And Tess Clarke, Marketing Manager at Milton, UK.
Well, what we were looking for is the levels of contamination that can be picked up by new dummies from a surface, environmental surface, and the levels of bacteria you'd find on dummies which had been used by babies. Now, we found that if you dropped the dummies in an outside area or in a home, that funnily enough, the kitchen was probably the worst place to drop a dummy, followed closely by outside in play areas. However, when you actually looked at the bacteria that were there were normal environmental bugs. If, however, we took the dummies that came from babies, unfortunately, about 16% of these were grossly contaminated, and the organisms that were actually involved in this contamination were actually fecal origin organisms. So that was slightly a worrying finding.
And how this relates to the listeners in Birmingham, around 13,100 babies are born each year in Birmingham. So looking back at the research, what this means is for babies that are using soothers, up to a fifth of those could potentially be using soothers that have been heavily contaminated by the harmful bacteria that Dr. Cutler's spoken about. And what that means, being a mum myself, that means poorly babies, upset tummies, family disruption, sleepless nights, all those things that, as parents, we all want to avoid, and we want to do the best we can to protect our babies. So, just emphasising the importance of, of really trying to protect your baby using a sterile soother.
As far as the dummies that had been used by babies, basically we found this organism called Enterococcus faecalis. It's normally present in the human gut. One of the nasty things it tends to do is carry multiple drug resistance, so it's often an antibiotic resistant bacteria, and it can cause urinary tract infections and gut infections. Well, we did drop these new dummies in several places in the environment, and surprisingly, we found that the kitchen wasn't a good place to drop your baby's dummy, nor were the soft play areas. Probably less surprising, but we would have thought from our previous experience with kitchens, most kitchen floors are pretty clean, but in this case, something like 10% of the kitchen floors that we dropped the dummies on seem to be pretty heavily contaminated, and these were with organisms which could in some way cause food poisoning.
Well, here at Milton, we recommend sterilising a baby soother up until the child's first birthday, because a baby's immunity is particularly low around 6 months old, and it doesn't reach its full potential until later on in the child's life. So we really do recommend that for the first year, parents are vigilant and aware of the need to sterilise their soother. Being a parent myself and having a baby that's used a dummy, I know how much babies spit out their dummies and throw them. So it's really being aware that this is a product that's constantly being sort of expelled from a buggy, and as it's got baby saliva and it's a moist area for bacteria to harbour. When it's dropped, it very, very, very quickly picks up bacteria, and if the parents are putting that then back into the baby's mouth, you're exposing them to the harmful germs that we've spoken about. All you really need to do is make sure that you've got a sterile soother, and we've got a handy portable device here at Milton. You can attach it to your buggy, so you've always got a clean, sterilised soother handy to give parents the peace of mind that you're protecting your baby as much as you all want to do. We've got a team of experts here at Milton that are ready and waiting to answer any questions that parents have, both about the research and also just protecting your baby in general from harmful germs within the environment that we've spoken about. you can go to the Milton Facebook page and post your questions there, or get in touch with us, and we'd be really happy to help and hear from mums.